on Bird Activation. I'm here in Phoenix, Arizona with Andrew Ecker. He's a visionary, owner of Drumming Sounds, and founder of Neotribal, which you can find tickets to at www.neotribalthegathering.com. So tell me more about Neotribal's vision, the production for the means of restoration. What does that mean?
So production for the means of restoration is a worldview that really takes the beauty of what everything is and puts it into a container and a restorative value. So what we do is we produce to restore people, families, community, and the planet. And I feel like this restorative value really creates an energy that helps people understand that they're perfect and beautiful just the way they are, and without all of these toxic kind of thoughts, we can get back to that way of beauty and understanding that we're here to restore the planet and not consume the planet. So we're basically the earth and people, families, community, and the planet. We're basically the kind of the immune system for that. You know, we're reacting and responding to situations that are bringing healing and restoration and, of course, beauty.
Excellent.
So let me clarify a little bit about that, because it's really simple for people to say production for the means of restoration. Like, I feel like sometimes in circles, we can talk in circles and we can not really come to a place of a formal sort of metaphysical architecture for what we're thinking and what we're trying to create. And that's why, you know, I've had this idea of production for the means of restoration for some time, because I feel like it really creates a container for people to understand like what the earth is calling us, what our own human relatives are calling us to do. So we say we produce to restore people, families, community, and the planet. People, families, community, and the planet. That's what Neotribal is about.
All right. And so this coming year, 2016, or this year, is the second festival.
Second year that
right?
we're gathering at the Estrella Mountain Regional Park in Goodyear, Arizona, which is a really significant place that goes all the way back to the Hohokam, which were the people who were before. Basically, they inhabited that area, they farmed that area, and then the Native Americans, the contemporary Native Americans, the Pima, they utilized that area as well. And then when the Spanish came, the Europeans came, they asked the Pima what the land meant out there, what was it called? And they said that it was the celestial meeting ground.
Wow.
And that translated into Spanish as the Estrella Mountains. And so now it's called the Estrella Mountain Regional Park. But it's a convergence spot of three rivers, the Gila, the Agua Fria, and the Salt River, all converge there, which creates a really strong presence. And
so it's an energetic convergence as
it's
well.
It's an energetic convergence, and that's why we're calling this year's gathering Neotribal the Convergence.
All right, yeah, I did see that, but I was a little bit not sure if we're using both words, the gathering.
Well, the
and
gathering is the original, it's the conceptualization, and the
Okay.
theme is the convergence.
Ah,
Yes.
nice. Okay. So do you want to talk about what social footprint means?
Yeah, I use that word a lot, like in the meetings and in basically languaging around this idea of creating community involvement. So the social footprint of what Neotribal is creating is basically around that simple process of production for the means of restoration. So socially, what we're doing is we're restoring people. And inside of that, we're really looking at two specific demographics, which are the most at-risk demographics for suicide in our country, which are our veterans and our indigenous community members. So we're working with a group of veterans to do an environmental restoration piece where we're going to remove a salt cedar tree, and then we're creating and curating a healing garden where we're going to plant indigenous trees and then create a bench that will say a place to survive suicide.
Oh, I didn't know about the bench.
A sacred place to survive suicide. And that's brought to us by our partner and amazing sponsor, SWIHA, which is the Southwest Institute of Healing Arts, and I'm very grateful for all of the people at the Southwest Institute of Healing Arts for seeing the vision that we're doing. In this political climate, when you start talking about the health of our communities, the health of our families, and also the health of indigenous people globally, it can be something that people back away from. But it's my interpretation that these are the areas that we really need to focus on. So the first day is the restoration piece with the environment. We're removing the invasive species of the salt cedar tree, which actually secretes a biochemical that kills indigenous plants. The second day, we're bringing out a group of elders. Now, this group of elders is from the Mosaic Senior Center. And again, another one of our community collaborators has made a way for us to honor these elders. And these elders are being honored with a ceremonial lunch, a drum circle, and a gift giving. And we're going to be giving them a blanket, which is very symbolic, because the blanket is a way of covering our elders in love, but it's also, there's a karma behind the blanket. So the blanket has been used by governmental agencies as a way of creating biological warfare. In fact, the first biological warfare that was ever done in the world was done through smallpox-laden blankets. And that decimated many of the indigenous people of this land. So what we're doing is we're rewriting that story in a positive way, and the blankets are being created as a way of honoring that past, but also looking to the future of how we can transcend these sorts of karmic wounds, how we can get over the guilt, get over the shame, and begin to heal, and also create a bridge to our indigenous people.
That's amazing. Yeah.
The Mosaic Senior Center is a very unique senior center in the way that it services 14 Native American tribes and 40 refugee groups. Now, I know for many people, when we think about the refugee, there's something that comes into our heart, especially with the Syrian refugees right now. There's a fear that's all over this country about helping people.
Yeah.
That is a very strange concept for me.
Yeah.
I think that we need to embrace people, we need to love people, and the more that we do this, the more that we're going to see the transformation of our world.
Absolutely.
Now, these refugees are from places where we've had some kind of, to use that word footprint again, we've had some sort of political footprint, the U.S. They're from Vietnam, they're from Afghanistan, they're from Iraq, they're from Burundi, they're from Myanmar, they're from Nepal, they're from Cuba, they're from all over the world, Bosnia. 400 senior refugees are given free lunch and English as second language classes through this senior center that we're partnering with. So that is an amazing, amazing ceremony. It really brings us together as a community in a way that honors these elders and says to them, we love you, because believe me, they're seeing the news and they're afraid right now. They're seeing, all these politicians talk about, sending refugees back and doing all this stuff. And could you imagine a refugee that has literally gone through genetic cleansing? I mean, these guys have seen, there was one refugee last year that shared he was in a refugee camp for 23 years. 23 years he was in a refugee camp. And then he came to America and has a sense of freedom now, has a sense of love. But to see what's going on in the media, to see that there are politicians that are talking about closing off the borders and even talking about labeling refugees. This has to be a place where all of these fears that have gone through their mind of warfare, all of these fears are being realized again through our own political system. And this is very unfortunate because we've been told to embrace the refugee. We've been told to love the refugee. And this is what spiritual people feel. And it doesn't matter what religion you are. You know that these are the right things to do. That loving people, that caring for people, that being with people is important. And we need to really be advocates and activists for love, for beauty, for seeing those things. So that's the second day, is the elder ceremony. The third day is World Water Day. And again, of course, this is the convergence area of the Agua Fria, the Gila, and the Salt. And there's a really significant place for us there to honor the waters. And so our sister from Cree Nation from Canada, she comes in on horseback and she brings a procession of dancers and artists through the park with a bucket of water from the convergence area of the Salt River, the Gila, and the Agua Fria.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
So this lady who's going to be on the horse is Cree. I heard that the Rainbow Warriors prophecy was actually Cree. started by the Cree people.
Well, it's many
that
people.
true?
Many people have seen that prophecy.
Okay.
So it's not just any one nation. You know, these things have been seen by many indigenous people,
Okay.
and these things are being felt and actually manifesting.
Yeah.
And that is important that you mention prophecy, because
Yeah.
when we bring the elders out there, it is the fulfillment of that prophecy.
Right, and I feel very called to be at this gathering this year because I feel that the prophecy is so strong for me this year, and the water is calling me to be a voice for it. So, you know, this is a perfect container for me to show up to really be there, even if it's just my energy. But I will be doing more than just coming and witnessing. I'll be participating in a lot of different levels.
Sure. So the prophecy is not just about the people coming together, but it's the utilization of the ancient technologies in a contemporary setting to bring healing to the land. So that's why the drum circle is such an important part. That's why bringing those elders together to drum, to take the energy of fear and to transmute it into something beautiful. That is really what we do through these ancient technologies. And we're going to do a drum circle around the waters too. Once the waters are brought in from the convergence area, we place them into the center of the circle, the drum circle, and we energetically join with those waters, sending love and beauty to the waters, in which we can actually create a programming of the water.
That's
so
awesome.
the water actually remembers.
Right.
It remembers what we give to it.
Yes.
So when we give beauty to it, what's going to happen is that beauty is going to basically be given back to the waters, in which that beautiful sort of energy will then enter into the waters of the global lifeblood of the planet.
Yes.
So these waters that are here, the convergence area, which is, we've been told that it's the most decimated river in the whole Arizona. That this river has really gone through some struggles, and we're trying to heal that river and to put it back into a restorative place.
Yeah.
So what we're doing with those waters is we take them, we do the drum circle around them, we send prayers, we send dances, children dance around the waters, and then we take those waters back to the river. When we pour those waters back into the river, basically what we're doing is we're kind of manipulating the water in a certain way, like a chiropractor manipulates the body. It brings it back into balance. So we're hoping that through our ceremony, through the blessing of the children, through the blessing of the elders, through the blessing of the drum and these ancient technologies, that we can begin to restore our relationship to the air, the water, the fire, and the earth. So that's the third day. The fourth day, we're doing a fire ceremony in which parts of the tree that were taken out on the first day will be turned into a phoenix. And we're going to artistically create a phoenix bird. And then we're going to light this phoenix bird on fire, signifying a lot of energetic release into the atmosphere. People are going to put prayer bundles into that fire, and we're going to process what we learned over the 4 days of gathering together and how we can begin to implement that into our social settings, how we can take that back to our jobs, how we can be a voice for people, families, community, and the planet, and the restorative value of production for the means of restoration.
All right. So I wanted to rephrase or bring up again when you use the word remembering. It was something that came in before you even said it in the last topic, and I felt that there's a lot of, I would say, neo-tribalists. You know, the people, the young hippie folk that are of this time period are wanting that ancient technology and hungry, thirsty for that ancient technology. And I feel that people like me, people like the healers that I've met in my path, we're all remembering. We're all remembering how much we did care for the earth, how much in synchronization we used to be, in harmony and balance we were with the earth. And so that's why I really feel that this festival is holding like a special place in my heart, you know, because it's that rebirth of remembering.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're hoping, is that we bring people back to their place of being perfect and beautiful. And understanding that we're significant. Every single one of us has a role to play.
Absolutely.
And every single one of us that's called to this convergence, to this gathering, you can guarantee that the energy that will be displaced by what we're doing will transform your life. You know, it's not a very overly marketed event. And it's not an event that you're going to find everywhere all over the web, because that's strategic. And those that are hearing this voice right now, that are hearing this call to come to the desert, you know who you are. You know exactly why you need to be here. You know that the equinox is a sacred time, and that World Water Day, that honoring the elders, honoring the refugee, honoring the veteran, and coming to that place of the fire. The fire is a meeting place for us, relative. So it's important for us to understand that, and also to understand what it means to be Neotribal. You know, what that means is that means that we're able to utilize these ancient technologies in this contemporary setting, that we are those who are called to bring in that. You see, that's the thing, is that we're called to bring in that, and we're called to be a voice. You know, I've done drum circles with 7 nations. 7 nations. And I can tell you that when I was out there gathering in the woods, growing dreadlocks, you know, being a part of that movement, you know, I never seen myself being the voice that I am now. So just realize, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, you know, if you're the son of drug addict parents, incarcerated parents, if you're the son of a millionaire, you know, and you're hearing my voice right now, realize that there's a reason for you, and you're called to do something. Don't wait any longer, relative. The time is near. You know, the activation of what we're creating is going to come super quick. They say it's coming like a thief in the night. It's coming so fast. So just believe in that. Believe that, you know, the good thing is coming, that, you know, the architect has created this way. All of the suffering that we really see and we feel and all of those things, it's all for a reason. And now is the time to wake up, put down your gun, and pick up a drum. And let's believe in peace. Let's believe in beauty. Let's believe in all those things.
And I feel that this festival is also very symbolic of awakening, because on my personal path, and I'm being magnetically called to be here in like every capacity, and I just want to tell everyone that the shift, you know, I remember watching Drunvalo Melchizedek's videos, and he was talking about during the shift there will be a time where if you're not in your heart, that you will not survive on the planet. And I almost have gotten to this space of convergence within myself, that I have to completely cut away anything that is not in the highest alignment with what Mother Earth is calling me to do right now. And so I just want everyone to know that I am a living example of what it takes to go through the shift and help assist everyone with the shift that we're experiencing. If you're not experiencing it right now within your heart, you will, and this festival will help prepare you for that.
I hope.
So thank you everyone for watching So Convert Activation and being here. Thank you for being here, Andrew.
Thank you.